Alright, so we got a zipper attached. Everything's lined up and even, right where it's supposed to be. It's all split out between 4 pieces, kind of like butterfly wings. This is a point where we're able to do decorations. So the individual in question likes chrome. So we got some chrome bits. Look through, and what we got is this trip chain, which she really liked and wanted to make something out of. So we're going to attach some leather on the end of that with some rivets and make it so it snaps on one side and is riveted on the other. I'm not sure which side's going to be snapped or riveted, but that's going to happen. That'll be a little decoration there. Other than that, we have hearts and we have spikes, both of which she likes. So now that we have all the pieces together, but they're not stitched top and bottom, so I can still get in between the layers. I'm going to do this. That way none of the rivet backs or snap backs will be visible on the inside of the liner, so they won't go against her skin. So I'll figure out some sort of pattern to lay together and I'll start assembling it. But, yeah, got to figure out a pattern, where to put all the decorations first. So, let's get that ready. Okay. I can't call myself an artist, but got the concept of decorating the front of a corset. I think that turns out pretty good. As I said, the chain will have a snap at one side and a rivet at the other. A little leather triangle holding it all together there on either end. These hearts, they punch through and you bend the ends over to keep them from falling out. They're very, very easy. These spikes, you punch a hole through, you screw them in place. And what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to put a reinforcing plate behind them. Just a strip of leather that those will go in. And then the top stitch will be right along the edge. Well, the seam and top stitch will be right along the edge there, so they're going to have to be lower than that by probably an inch down to accommodate the half-inch fold. I think that's going to work out rather well. Looks decent. You know, it's reasonable. I like it. And nobody else is going to have anything like it. So, it's unique. Okay? I'll do what I can to show you how that goes together. Okay, so here's the plan. Got this chain. What I want to do is have a snap on one end and a rivet on the other. So, cut these strips of leather, 2 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to fold them in half. I'm going to stitch the 2 edges to make it a pocket. Once I do that, I'm going to slip the end of the chain inside the pocket, put my rivets through that, holding it in place. So you'll see 3 rivets on the outside and 1 big rivet or a snap. And this will just hang between 2 points. So I'll stitch this up and punch some holes in and see how we do. So I chalked in where everything is going to be, making sure there's room for the boning along here and for the stitching alongside the boning. Again, making room for the stitching and fold over for the top seam along there and the top stitch. So there's going to be 5 spikes there on each side. And I'll run these vertical, 8 of them, the hearts. There's going to be a rivet on one side, a snap on the other. All in all, I think that's going to look pretty good. Now, to reinforce the rivets, the backing on them, I'm putting leather washers behind the 2 snaps. I'm also going to run a strip of leather behind along here where the spikes are going to go to support them more than just denim. Okay. You've seen me punch holes in and put rivets and snaps and everything else in, so I'll do that. Then I'll show you what it looks like before we start the next round of stitching. Okay, so I had to scrap the idea of the spikes, sadly, because, well, if I put them in here, then when I turned it inside out to stitch it, that would have been pushed up and it would have been really difficult to keep along that edge. So for that difficulty, I had to scrap that idea. I couldn't really justify it in any way or make it work. So, still did the hearts, still did the chain. I don't know, I think it kind of has a Napoleonic era Prussian Black Parade kind of look. It's not bad. Still got chrome on it, she'll be happy. It's still black, she'll be happy. So, next step, I have to turn everything out and start stitching it. On the upside, I'm turning it out and stitching it. I don't have to have the whole thing on the table at once. Let me show you. Because I put a separating zipper in there, that means, undo that button, I can actually separate the two pieces while I do the stitching. That makes life infinitely easier. Once I get the top stitch in, then I'm going to have to start once I get the top stitch in, then I'm going to have to start doing the boning. Starting with this one, then I'll do a stitch to match up I'm going to match up the liner and shell along the seam, stitch a row, put the boning in, and then stitch the other row. So they're all going to be evenly spaced and evenly marked and look as good as possible. But first step for that is turning the whole thing inside out. So it looks like this again. Stitching along the whole edge. This is there and all the way down the back. And I turn it inside out again and we start putting in the boning. So that's the next step.